How's it going? So today we're going to be looking at Mark 8:27 to 38, and I'm really glad that I got to do this bit because a while ago I got to preach on this passage in church, and so I'm hoping that's going to make things a little easier as we just go through a couple of minutes of looking at some points that we can pick out from this passage. So the passage starts out with Peter recognising who Jesus is. Jesus says to him, "Who am I?" And Peter decides to tell Jesus who everybody else says that he is, who everybody else thinks that he is. But Jesus asks him again, "No, who do you say that I am?" And Peter responds in an incredible way because he says, "You are the Christ," which means that Peter recognised that Jesus was God, that Jesus was the one who was meant to come and save people, the one who was going to get people out of the mess that we put ourselves in. And that's really key because later on, Peter decides that he's going to tell Jesus or God that he's wrong, which is quite a funny thing if you think about it. So after that little bit of the passage, Jesus tells the disciples that he's going to die and rise again. And Peter's like, "No, that's not going to happen. That's not what's meant to happen." So Peter pulls Jesus to one side. Remember, this is the Jesus that had done so many miracles beforehand. And Peter pulls him to one side and says, "That's not how it's going down, mate. That's not what's supposed to happen." And Peter had this whole other thing in his mind. But Jesus was trying to say, "No, that is the way I'm supposed to save you. I'm not supposed to come and fight a physical battle. I'm going to come and I'm going to die for you in your place." Because the thing that we know is that every one of us is bad. We don't deserve God's love. But God decided to pour out his love on us anyway. And that's just incredible. And he did so through the sacrifice of Jesus. Jesus took our place. It was supposed to be us on the cross. Yet Jesus came and took that for us. And Jesus was trying to say this to Peter, that no, what you're thinking is wrong. The way I'm doing it is right. So we have that bizarre bit where Peter tells him off. And just think about that for a second. Like, Jesus calmed a storm, right? And think about this, that there was a bunch of fishermen on a boat, and these were guys who were used to like tough weather conditions, and they were all like scared for their lives, and Jesus was in the bottom of the boat sleeping, and they came and got Jesus because they were so scared, and Jesus, with just his words, because he commanded the storm, it stopped. That's how powerful Jesus is. That's one of the signs that Jesus is God, that even at the sound of his voice, the weather obeys him, the storm obeys him, and it stopped. And so Peter had seen Jesus do that, and Peter had seen Jesus feed 5,000 people and then 4,000 people with hardly anything. And yet Peter decides, actually, Jesus, my way is right and your way is wrong. And the reason why I pick out that is because we do the same with God. As a Christian, I know that God is good. I've seen God do incredible things in my life. And yet, sometimes when God tells me to do things, I'm like, no. Sorry, God, that's not the way it's meant to be. That's not what I'm meant to do. You must be wrong. You must be wrong. When God's saying, no, actually, my way is better than your way. You need to follow me. You need to trust me. My reaction sometimes is the same as Peter. I start telling God, the creator of the universe, what he's meant to do, how he's meant to do it. When God's like, actually, my way is better than your way. My plans are better than your plans, because I'm the God of the universe, not you. And so that's what we need to do in our walks with God, is we need to trust that God is doing the right things. We need to trust God that he is taking us into the right places. And that can be hard because I know that, you guys go to school and it's hard in school. When I was in school, it was so tough for me to be a Christian, and sometimes I hid that. When God was saying to me, I want you to tell your mates about me. And so I really want to encourage you guys that wherever you are, whether that's school and later on in life when you go to college and university and work, that whatever happens, that you follow the voice of God, that whatever God asks you to do, that you don't hold back from doing it, because his ways are better than ours. And I tell you what, living the Christian life, I've said this so many times to so many people, but it is the most amazing life you can ever be a part of. That doesn't mean it'll always be easy, but it is amazing to be a part of what God is doing. And that's what we want you guys to do. We want you guys to trust that God, when he speaks to you, that he's telling you to do the right things. That he loves you, that he cares about you. He's not doing stuff to have a laugh and a joke, but he's doing it because that is his plan, and his plan is good. And we want you to follow that all the way through your life, no matter what that means. I know that for me it meant when I was at school and when I was at college, sometimes it was really tough, because sometimes people didn't understand me. People didn't understand why I was doing, living the way I was living. And sometimes I would go home and I'd be like, God, this is not right, this is not right. But God was like, yes, it is. And so, when we live, let's live in a way where we trust God no matter what, with everything that we have, everything that we're doing. Right, thank you very much. That's the end.